how you will define the relationship between yourself, your DCEs, and our MPs.
Mr. Chairman, is a vision of a politician to give back to the society, and MPs are there to give back to society. So at the regional level, it's really not going to be politics in terms if it comes to development. We have to do it together. I can't do it alone, you cannot do it alone. So we do it together with the MDAs. So it's not going to be a matter of unseating you or anything. We are all going to help to develop the region. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Can I look forward to boasting of an airport in the Upper East region by the end of your tenure of office?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think it is on the drawing board to set up an airport in the region. I think there have been some challenges of the site, and this is what I'm going to be engaging all of you, the 15 MPs in the region, for us to see how we can resolve the impasse that is between, I think, Bolga and then Navrongo also. So we'll push to also have an airport in Upper East. I think we deserve it, and I'm going to fight very hard for that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And can I also count on you to...
I thought you agreed that I will lead because it's Upper East. That was the understanding.
So you alone will ask all the questions.
Two more, last one. Last questions.
Have your last one.
Two last ones. Can I count on your support for us to get a government hospital for Boku Municipal? Because Boku is arguably the largest in the area. Bolga only recently, overtook Boku in size and etc. But we still don't have a government hospital, and the argument is always made that because there's a Presbyterian hospital, we don't get entitled to a government hospital. I think that's wrong. Government hospital is government hospital. The Presbyterian Church is not investing as much as they ought to be investing in the hospital. Can I count on your support that in the next 4 years, working together, we can get Boku a government hospital?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, you can count on my support. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Bwana.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Congratulations. I'm surprised when Honorable Ayariga asked you about water, you never spoke about the first loan agreement that the MPP administration under President Akufo-Addo brought to Parliament in 2017 was for the Upper East Water Expansion Project. It was a 38 million euro project to provide water for over 180,000 people in the region. Yes, the first loan agreement when Honorable Ada was minister. From Navrongo, Bongo, Tongo, Bolga, and also in November, before the election, a further 7 million euros was contracted for Zuarungu alone to complete that hub. What do you have to say about this project? Are you aware? What's your brief? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, my understanding is that the project is ongoing, and about 6 districts are going to benefit from this project, and therefore it's something that I'm going to pursue for the project to be completed in time for the people of Upper East region. And I think it's a very good project for the people. Thank you.
Secondly, and Chairman, the last question is on the Via and Tono irrigation dams and its importance to rice farming around the Fumbisi Valley area. What will be your strategy to tap into this beautiful project? Thank you. Chairman, I'm done. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, yes, we have Tono, which is being rehabilitated. We have Via. We have the Kalagu Dam that is coming up. It's about $1 billion USD project. which is really going to help change Upper East in terms of farming, in terms of electricity, in terms of irrigation and all that. So these are projects that I'm really going to pursue for its speedy completion. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Gaga.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable nominee, congratulations. And let me say welcome to your entourage, the regional rep on the Council of State, Elijah Jeremiah, and the regional chairman, who happens to be my partner in our law firm. Honorable nominee, we've given the nod. We're going to manage the affairs of a region which in recent times have suffered so many armed robbery attacks. Now it is very frightening to travel on the Tamale-Bolgatanga highway. The other day, the Tomato Sellers Association actually held a demonstration and actually embarked upon a boycott. In fact, churches have not been spared in the region. The Pentecost church in Sandema was robbed in broad daylight. All the collections, was taken away from them. Another church in Bolga was attacked. Sandema Channel Road is not passable. A few days ago, we had to bury a cattle trader who went to Katu to buy cattle in the morning. You'll be chairman of REXEG if you get the nod. What would you do to at least bring to the barest minimum the incidence of robberies in the region?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That is very true. We have a problem of armed robbery in the region. If I'm giving the nod, what I'll try to find is why this speed of armed robbery in the region. Working very closely with the security services, my understanding is we have logistical challenges, and I am quite happy that the IGP was there about a month ago or so, and he promised beefing up the logistical, dealing with the logistical problems. So with this, and also with the help of all of you, the 15 MPs in the region, we should be able to find a lasting solution to this problem. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now, Honorable nominee, the Upper East region has great tourism potential. We have the Paga Crocodile Pond, which has been with us for a very long time. But when you go to Paga, you'd be disappointed. There are no facilities around the pond area. In addition to that, we have quite a number of festivals that have historical significance. You take the Fiok Festival of the Bulsa people, which is a festival which commemorates the titanic battle the Bulsa people fought with slave raiders and actually defeated them. Babatu was defeated right in Sandema. If you go to a place called Fisa in Sandema, the artifacts of the battle are there. You would see them. Children play with them. If you're giving the nod. In fact, the very worrying thing that we have lived with is that when it's time for Panafest, and we're talking about the history of slavery in our country, nobody talks about the battles that were fought in Sandaba, the resistance that the people put up against the slave trade. What would you do to exploit the tourism potential of the Upper East region if you're giving the nod?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I see tourism as a way of mobilizing resources for the district assemblies. So I'm going to be working very closely with the AMDAs so that they will be able to develop these potentials in their various areas. By doing that, we will be able to mobilize resources to develop the region. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Last question has to do with the poor road network in our region. I had occasion to ask the road minister what he intends to do to at least deal with the problem which has to do with our road network. The Chuchuluga Sandema Fumbisi road is a very important road highway which leads all the way to the Fumbisi Bedimbilisi valleys, where rice cultivation is picking up. The Boko Bolga stretch is also one that is of international importance. I mean, if given the nod, what would you do to facilitate the early completion of those two major road projects in our region and others?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I'm given the nod, I will push for the actors, the contractors, those who are on the road. My understanding is that the Bolga-Boku road is 70% done. It's left with some 3 bridges, big bridges. That is why it's holding the other 30% not being done. So I'm going to be talking with the road ministry, pushing very hard for the completion of these 2 projects. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable Eslos.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations to the nominee. My first visit to the Upper East region was just before the elections, and I fell in love with the region, traveled extensively there. My question was going to be what you were going to do. Oh, Honorable Ayariga, I tried to see you, but I couldn't see you when I came to Boku. But I fell in love with the region. You have a lot of tourism potential, beautiful people, lovely customs and traditions. I noticed that Zebula seems to be the guinea fowl capital of the region, and I did enjoy the guinea fowl as well. It's well watered, and so agriculture is one of the mainstays of the people there. And yet there's significant pockets of poverty around there, and so you have your work cut out for you. But there you can see the signs that things are picking up there. What would you do to create opportunities, building on the potential that's there already in agriculture, in tourism, and I got some of the beautiful smocks that your wife is wearing as well. So there is a lot going for you there. What would you do to encourage more income generating activity there, to provide the job opportunities that the young people need? And you can count on my support as well. I just told Honorable Ayariga that I am adopted indigene of. I visited Binduri as well too and loved it there. So knowing Binduri. Oh yes, I need the airport there so that I can visit you more often. So if there's anything we can do to add our voice to it, we'll do that. But if you see how hardworking the people are, and that with a little support they can do even much more to lift themselves out of poverty, it encourages me to think that with the right push we can resolve many of the challenges in our countryside. And with your very rich background and experiences, you would be the best placed person to assist lift that region out of poverty. So building on the potential that currently exists, how are you going to harness it to create the job opportunities there which would help give the people a brighter future?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Guinea fowls, we have the best guinea fowl in Ghana anyway, Upper East region. They are bigger, they are juicy. So, Mr. Chairman,
Are they cultivated or imported from Burkina?
No, these are locally bred. Mr. Chairman, I'm from the region, and as the Honorable Member is saying, it's true, we have a lot of potentials, but why are we not developing? These are questions that I keep asking myself all the time. I think the problem is, how do we get private people coming to invest in the region? So these are areas that I'm going to be looking at, because the resources are there, the people are there, very highly educated, willing to work, the land is there, we have plenty water. Why is it that people are not investing in that region? So I'm going to take it upon myself, if I'm given the nod, to find out these questions, these answers to all these questions. But I also have the hope that with the Kwalagu Dam coming in, with the via irrigation project being renovated, with Tono being renovated, with the Tambe Dam coming up, and also with the dams that are being provided in the various constituencies, I think that with time, Upper East will lift her citizens from poverty. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. So first, then I'll come to you.
Very well. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable nominee, I have just one question for you, but it is in two parts.
No, one part.
Oh, it's just one question, yeah, but like the answers are in two.
Just ask.
So, on 15th January 2021, it was reported that the region is likely to be faced with food security this year. And the reason... food insecurity this year. And the reasons are the floods that that hit the region. And particularly they cited the spillage of the Bagri Dam. And when you look at the extent of the flood, you could see that it had a very devastating effect on farmlands. How do you propose to solve the problem of food insecurity? And what do you consider to be the long-term solution to the spillage from the Bagri Dam?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Earlier on, I mentioned the Kwalagu Dam. The Kwalagu Dam will be able to resolve these perennial floods in the region. So with that dam, not only is it going to help the perennial flooding, it's also going to help farming also, and that is going to help us lift or reduce farming in the region. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honourable nominee, congratulations. I have a question for you, but it centers on two areas that I was involved with. As a Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, I had the privilege of working to resuscitate and complete the completion of the Bolgatanga market. And also as Minister for Youth and Sports, I was in Bolga, and we, together with the administration, Regional Coordinating Council, we started work on how to rebuild the abandoned Bolgatanga Sports Stadium. What is the assurance I get from you that you will take a look at these two projects and make sure that they are completed within your term as the Regional Minister?
Mr. Chairman, I will promise the Honourable Member that when I'm given the nod, I am going to pursue this issue and make sure it's completed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. The leadership have indicated to me they have no questions for you. So I have no question for you. I just wish to...
have no question.
I just wish
Chairman, for the record, we have no questions for the nominee.
I announced that the leaders have told me that they have no question. Then my leader jumped in to announce that we don't have questions. Thank you, Honorable Nominee. We thank you for attending upon the House to answer questions. You hear from us, but for now you're discharged.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honourable members, order. Kindly administer the oath, please.
I, Idana Zakaria,
do in the name of Almighty Allah swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty Allah
swear that
the
evidence I shall give before this committee.
The evidence I shall give before this committee.
Touching the matter in issue.
Touching the matter in issue.
Shall be the truth.
Shall be the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me Allah.
So help me Allah.
Okay. Are you Mr. or Alaji? Speak to your mic, please.
Chairman, I'm Mr.
Very well. I just want to be sure that I get it correct. So, Mr. Idana Zakaria, I see from your CV that you have an MPhil from University of Cape Coast in Education Administration. You have B.Ed in Psychology. You're still studying for the Chartered Institute of Administration and Management Consultants. You want to be a consultant? Consultants just write, they don't implement anything. I assure you'll be useful for the region.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm a professional teacher by training, but duty called me to the University for Development Studies, where I am a senior assistant registrar. Being an administrator, I would need to have a good grasp of administrative skills to enable me to perform on the job. And I think that by my appointment as Northeast Regional Minister, my work largely will be that of administration. So I'm very sure that if I complete that professional program, it will support me deliver to expectation.
That's right. I can see here, the Senior Assistant Registrar, Academic Affairs. That's very interesting. Right. Now, you're a headmaster of Agunas Federal Holy Quran JHS. Interesting. Yes. I'll go through this to show that you have no disqualification issues, or you're qualified to be nominated for the position or appointed to the position. Now tell us, is there anything else you think we must know?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A bit about my background as a professional is what I think this August committee will need to know. I have been in public service for close to 30 years as a teacher and now a senior assistant registrar at the University for Development Studies. Throughout my service years, I have done so with a certain degree of commitment, a sterling public service record. One,
you are the one describing the sterling, not gold or silver. Chairman, you can continue. Thank you.
If you don't say I am, who will say thou art?
So I won the Best Teacher Award in 1999 when I was a teacher at Wulgu Secondary School. That, I think, is a reflection of who I am. In the university, I have played several key roles. I've served on several committees.
Honorable nominee, Chairman simply wants to say that it will please him if you say that you are relying on your CV. This is a very rough terrain, and you can enter into some troubled waters. So it has pleased the chairman to accept all you have done in this CV without more. Would it please you to comply with this?
Yes, I will. Thank you.
Very well. Expect here, if you are not careful.
Very well. Honourable members.
Chairman, I see on your CV, is that the respected Professor Nabla Wulgu Naba of Population Studies, who is your referee?
Mr. Chairman, that is true.
And Dr. A.B.T. Zakaria of UDS, I understand he's just exiting on retirement. Is that the case?
Mr. Chairman, that is the case.
What's the challenge of the UDS that you can share with us, having been assistant registrar to that important academic institution? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our major challenge in the university now has to do with infrastructure, so that we can admit the student numbers that we can, just so that we can deliver education to the youth.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, just a matter of interest. Mampurugu, Mampurule, and you see on your CV you can speak Mampul. Check your CV, the first page. Is that how it said? Mampule. Check and I'll see. I see Mampurugu somewhere. I just want to learn the language. Is Mampurule, eh? Mampurule or Mampule? Check what you have put there.
Mampurule.
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 But the R is not pronounced. Check what you have in your CV, the page 1, where you say Mampule in English. Are you right? Or I got it wrong?
No, please. I think that is what I intended. Mampule.
So I'm right?
Yes, please.
Ah, okay. Thank you, Chairman. Now you will be minister to a very important region of our country. Chairman, again, I note that one of the most deprived rural areas in Ghana, which suffers one of the major ills of our society, rural-urban migration. When you walk the streets of Kotobabi through Newtown in the evening, you and I know that as you walk the streets, you hear them speak our language. And if you have a heart and conscience, your heart breaks that this is the quality of their life. What, given your background, it means you understand the push and the pull factors. What will you do to remedy the situation, particularly for the young girls who continuously drift in search for jobs that does not exist? I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think I will approach that issue with the young girls from the skills training point of view. If we are able to get support to establish skills training and vocational institutions, that we can take them through short courses, equip them with skills, I believe many of them would want to stay back at home and have something doing instead of coming to the cities. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. As you may recall, I was in Wale following the major floods, which kind of covered the road and the water body to the Honorable Haji Alime's village. It also affected 2 other communities just on the road. What plans do you have to put that to an end? Because the continuous flooding also affects livelihoods, particularly farmers in the area. Again, it was heartbreaking to see them when the floods happen. You want to share what plans you have to remedy that? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think most of the communities that were inundated with floods are on low-lying areas. So we'll try to sensitize our people to move to higher grounds and settle. I believe when that is done, we may be able in the immediate contain it. But the long term, I think with the construction ongoing of the Palgo multi-purpose dam, I believe that reservoir will contain a lot of the water. And I believe if it comes on stream, in the long term, it will help arrest the situation.
Thank you, Chair. Your Ulugu again. And Chairman, just to note that cattle rearing, you remember the popular Ulugu farms, just when you are leaving from Wale turning towards Bolga. It used to be an economic opportunity for the people in that area, which I believe supported even the meat industry in Bolgatanga. You want to recommend that for a 1D, 1F for government if you do become minister? Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I will. I'll liaise with the Northern Development Authority to see how they can support, revive that the defunct cattle ranching in Kalgo.
Chairman, I was in Lingwensi last 10 or 14 days, and as I was entering Wale Wale, I saw a factory to the roadside, right? Was I told that it's for watermelon production? Am I right? Just after Kukwa, I hope I got the name right.
Mr. Chairman, that is true. We have construction ongoing to have a watermelon factory.
Right, thank you. Chairman, as you drive from Wale Wale through Mimima and you get to Nalirgu, I just turn off the road to a mosque at Limbinsi. The township area was in kind of deprivation of any roads in that particular area. Any plans for it?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When I'm given the nod by this August House, what I will do will be to liaise with the Department of Urban Roads to see if they can lend some support. It is not only Langbinsi, it cuts across many communities in the Northeast region. But I would liaise with them to see how they can support us in that regard.
Thank you, Chairman. Now, as I entered Wale Wale, the Wale Wale Township Road, to the right, there was an improvement. To the left, by the police station, no improvement. And the road connecting from that area, leading towards Yaba and Fumbisi, another major agricultural opportunity in the area. You want to promote rice farming in that area? How do you intend to do that? You want to share with us? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the road from Wale Wale Wungu leading to Yama is currently under construction. And I believe the purpose is to open up the area so that farmers can get access to their farms, and when they produce, they will be able to convey this to the market centers. This I will lend support to make sure that that is achieved by liaising with the Ministry of Roads and Highways to see if that can be completed in good time.
What plans do you have for Janga, that major area? Again, I accompanied then President Mahama to commission a hospital project there. I've seen some work going as you turn towards the road. So the turning into Janga and Janga Township, what plans do you have for them? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think the Janga Road currently is also under construction, and I believe the town roads will also be packaged so that we have that one too done. So I believe when I'm giving the nod, I will liaise with the appropriate authorities to facilitate that.
As I was entering Wale Wale, what greeted me was Ajia Honorable Larabe's picture just by the bridge. But it suffered some erosion when you just get to the end of the bridge. There was erosion on both sides of the road. Any plans to look at it?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have not taken particular notice of that, but you have drawn my attention to it. I believe if I'm giving the nod, whatever that we have to do to fix that portion of the road, we will. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I was brought to Accra by the late Alhaji David to undertake university education at Legon, and he came from Nalirgu. I've seen one of his friends accompany you at the back. I used to live in the same house with him, Alhaji Suleimana Yermi from Boku. So I do have a soft spot for the people in that area because of the benevolence. Now, honey, shire, honey, Chairman, I've translated it. As you drive out of Wale Wale Township, there appeared to be an opportunity for bee farming. One of the communities, the young girls and men ran to the street with a bottle by the roadside, buy the best honey from here. Do you intend to undertake it as an economic activity to provide jobs for the youth in the area?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it is one area that can create jobs for the youth. And I believe if I'm given the nod, I will liaise with the appropriate authorities to see if they can train young people to enter into beekeeping. By that, they will generate some income for themselves, and then it will help address the unemployment problem that is facing the country. Thank you.
I see the honorable member for Bunkrugu also joining you, and now that shifts my focus to the road network. As you turn from Bunkrugu and then Cherpune Yendi, Cherpune Wapule, Cherpune Saboba, and then you turn on the other part of the road into Nalergo, deplorable state. Our people struggle in their poverty to be able to travel. I know that the NDC completed a substantial portion of it, and then your government came and added more to it. I've seen former regional minister of the area nod his head. So I'll now add Nakwandure. So then the link road which turns from Nakwandure, what plans do you have for it? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. Governance is a continuum. I believe if you have visited those areas you have mentioned, there are contractors on site working. So I believe with the approval from this August House, what we will do will be to link up with the contractors on those roads to see what we can do to support them get the work completed. Thank you.
Chairman, I know the overlord of Mount Progo is a grandfather, very respected chief. Nalergo Township itself, and as I said, I came to Accra thanks to Salifu David from Nalergo. It's pride of place. It used to be a very important town, particularly for medical care for eyes, the Baptist Medical Training Center. What plans do you have to expand healthcare in the area if you do become minister? I thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chairman. It is very true. The observation you have made is very true. And I think that if I'm given the nod, I will liaise with the MPs and other government appointees and the business community to see how we can support young people who have the qualification to enroll in medical schools so that when they complete, they can come back home to serve the people. Currently in the Northeast region, doctor-patient ratio is not one of the best. And I believe that given the necessary approval here, we will try to see how we can get the youth enrolled in medical school, come back and serve our people. Thank you.
Honorable Tampuli, you appear to be the last one I'll give today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, Honorable Nominee. I see that you are here with the Municipal Chief Executive for Wale Wale, my very good friend, and then the MC for Nalerego, Gambaga, and the indefatigable Regional Chairman. And all your MPs are here. As the Secretary and Spokesperson of the Nairi Working Committee for the creation of the Northeast region, I get the impression that you have a lot of information regarding the creation of the region. And obviously, the potential that the region has in the petition that was submitted to the President and sent to the Council of States. Now, my constituency shares boundary with Mampuru, what's the name, Najeru Gambaga, and Bintili, a major market center. Now, I believe that that market is punching way below its weight. There is a lot of potential for Bintili market, especially for livestock. Bushegu is known as the livestock market, but we get our livestock from Bintili. What can you do to take Bintili market especially to commanding heights where it will be recognized within that enclave and even the entire the 5 northern regions? Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first consideration will be to work towards getting the road completed, the road from Nalergu through Bintri. That will ease travel. So people who want to do business can easily access the area. The second is to look at the state of the market as it is now. I believe with the necessary finances, we should be able to provide some bit of infrastructure that can accommodate the businessmen and women. I believe if we are able to approach it from those two angles, we will succeed in inviting people, business-minded people, to want to do trade with not only the Bintri people, but the entire Northeast region.
Okay. Mr. Idana Zakaria, thank you for attending upon the committee to answer questions. You will hear from us. For now, you're discharged.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.